Have you ever noticed something strange about how movies portray heaven? It's always the same. Tiny clouds, bright white light, people floating around for eternity looking half asleep while somebody quietly plays a harp in the background. But here's the shocking part. That picture barely resembles what the Bible actually describes. According to Scripture, heaven may be more real, more physical, and more breathtaking than anything humanity has ever experienced. In fact, some biblical descriptions sound less like a dream world and more like a perfect restored reality beyond human imagination. And near the end of this video, I'm going to show you one detail from Revelation that completely changes the way most people think about eternity. Because according to the Bible, heaven is not what most people were taught. So let's start with the biggest misconception first. The Bible never describes heaven as endless clouds. When people search, what does heaven look like? They usually imagine a spiritual place disconnected from physical reality. But heaven, according to the Bible, looks very different. Scripture repeatedly describes heaven as a kingdom, a city, and even a restored creation. That's important, because the biblical description of heaven is not about escaping existence. It's about existence being perfected. And this is where things get interesting. Revelation 21 talks about a new heaven and new earth. Not souls floating forever, not humans becoming ghosts. A renewed creation. That means the Bible's vision of eternity includes beauty, structure, purpose, relationships, and life itself restored to what it was always meant to be. Think about the difference. Most people picture heaven as less real than earth. But Scripture suggests heaven may actually be more real, more alive, more vibrant, more complete. And honestly, that changes the entire conversation. The New Jerusalem sounds absolutely massive. One of the most famous Bible verses about heaven appears in Revelation when John describes something called the New Jerusalem. And the details are unbelievable. The city shines like jewels. The walls are made of jasper. The gates are giant pearls. And the streets are described as pure gold, so refined they appear transparent. Now, some people believe those details are symbolic. Others believe they're literal. But either way, the message is impossible to miss. Nothing on earth compares to the value and beauty of heaven. But here's the part most people overlook. The city measurements described in Revelation are enormous. We're talking about something larger than entire modern nations. That means heaven, according to the Bible, is not described as an empty spiritual void. It's described like civilization perfected. Imagine the most beautiful city you've ever seen. Now remove pollution, remove crime, remove corruption, remove fear, remove suffering. What's left is something humanity has never actually experienced before. Perfect harmony. And this next part might surprise you. Heaven may contain beauty humans can't even describe. One reason biblical descriptions of heaven sound strange is because the writers struggled to explain what they saw. John constantly says things like, "It looked like," "It appeared as," "There was something like." Why? Because human language has limits. Imagine trying to explain modern skyscrapers, airplanes, or holograms to someone living 2,000 years ago. You'd probably run out of vocabulary pretty quickly. That may be exactly what's happening in Revelation. The descriptions involve blazing light, radiant stones, crystal seas, fire-like brilliance, and glowing colors unlike anything on earth. And this is where most people make a mistake. They assume heaven will be boring because eternity sounds repetitive. But the biblical explanation of heaven suggests the exact opposite. It points toward endless discovery, endless wonder, endless beauty, not dullness, not monotony. Think about the moments in life that truly leave people speechless. Standing under the stars, seeing the ocean for the first time, watching a sunset that almost doesn't look real. Now imagine beauty beyond that level forever. That's closer to the biblical picture. Heaven, according to the Bible, is full of life. A lot of people secretly worry about this question. What happens in heaven? And even more honestly, will heaven be boring? But Scripture never describes heaven as passive existence. Actually, the Bible constantly connects heaven with celebration, joy, activity, worship, feasting, music, learning, and meaningful purpose. Jesus described banquets. There are songs throughout Revelation. There are gatherings, relationships, and responsibilities. In other words, life continues, but perfected. And this is important because many people accidentally imagine heaven as less emotional than earth. But according to the Bible, Heaven contains deeper joy, deeper peace, and deeper fulfillment than humans currently experience. Think about your happiest memory: laughing with people you love, feeling completely safe, feeling understood, feeling alive. Now remove anxiety, remove loss, remove heartbreak. That's the direction the biblical description of heaven points toward. And honestly, that sounds far more exciting than sitting on clouds forever. The most important part of heaven isn't the gold. Now here's where the Bible changes focus completely. Because despite all the descriptions of glowing cities and precious stones, Scripture says the greatest part of heaven is not the environment. It's the presence of God. That's the central message repeated throughout the Bible. No separation, no distance, no fear, full connection with the Creator. And whether someone is deeply religious or simply curious about spirituality, there's something powerful about that idea. Because every human being spends life searching for fulfillment, meaning, belonging, peace. The Bible claims heaven is where those longings are finally completed. That's why Revelation says there will be no more death, mourning, crying, or pain. Not because suffering is ignored, but because suffering itself is gone. And this next detail makes heaven even more fascinating. Angels in heaven are nothing like paintings. Most movies portray angels as soft, peaceful humans with tiny wings. But the Bible's heavenly beings are far stranger and far more powerful. Some angels appear surrounded by fire. Some have multiple wings. Some are described with eyes covering their bodies. And almost every time angels appear in Scripture, humans react the same way: terror, fear, shock. That's why angels often begin with the words, "Do not be afraid." And honestly, that changes how people view heaven entirely. Because heaven, according to the Bible, is not weak or cartoonish. It's majestic, overwhelming, powerful, holy. The biblical description of heaven feels less like fantasy and more like stepping into reality far bigger than human understanding. And this next question is one nearly everyone asks. What will our bodies be like in heaven? Will people still have physical bodies? Will we recognize ourselves? Will we even still be human? According to the Bible, the answer is yes. In 1 Corinthians 15, Paul describes resurrected bodies that are transformed yet still physical. And Jesus himself becomes the example after his resurrection. People recognized him. He walked. He talked. He ate food. Yet he also seemed transformed beyond normal physical limitations. That means heaven is not about humans becoming less human. It's about humanity being restored. No sickness, no aging, no exhaustion, no weakness. Imagine having energy without burnout, strength without pain, joy without depression. That's the picture Scripture points toward. And this next part may hit people emotionally. Will we recognize loved ones in heaven? One of the most searched questions about heaven is incredibly personal. Will we see loved ones again? The Bible strongly suggests recognition continues after death. Jesus spoke about people recognizing Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. During the Transfiguration, the disciples recognized Moses and Elijah. Relationships clearly still mattered. And honestly, that idea comforts people because grief is universal. Every person knows loss. Every person wonders whether death is truly the end. The message of heaven in Christianity says death does not get the final word. That hope has comforted people for thousands of years. Not because it instantly removes pain, but because it says pain is temporary. And now we arrive at the detail that changes everything. The final biblical twist most people misremember. Earlier when I said there's one detail about heaven that changes the entire picture. Here it is. The Bible never describes heaven as humanity permanently escaping earth. Instead, Revelation ends with heaven coming down. That's massive. God creates a new heaven and new earth. A restored creation. A perfected reality. That means the final goal is not abandoning the world. It's restoring it. Completely. No evil. No corruption. No death. No suffering. Suddenly, all the pieces connect. The New Jerusalem. The resurrection. The physical bodies. The relationships. The joy. The beauty. Heaven, according to the Bible, is not less real than life now. It may actually be more real than anything humans have experienced. And honestly, maybe that's why Scripture describes heaven with so much awe. Not because it's imaginary, but because human language struggles to fully capture it. So maybe heaven isn't floating on clouds after all. Maybe it's the restoration of everything humanity was originally created to be. A world fully alive, fully healed, fully connected to God. If this video changed the way you think about heaven, make sure you like the video and subscribe, because in the next one, we're breaking down what the Bible actually says happens immediately after death, and some of those answers might completely surprise you.